Okay. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. 6:02, we'll get the party started. My name is Sarah Thornton, and I am PTO president this year. We have a packed agenda, so we are going to hop right into it. Ms. Kemp, would you like to begin? We have our specials teachers here, which is really fun because every single student in the school has these three wonderful teachers. So Marie, you want to take it away?
Yes, so I'm here at my house with my dogs and my children. And so you know how it goes on Zoom. If it's loud in the background, that's why. So I'm excited. I'm the PE teacher at Guiley Elementary this year. This is a new program for Springfield Public Schools, the elementary PE teachers. And so we meet once a month as the PE teachers of Springfield Elementary, and we look at the state standards for physical education in Oregon, and we're mapping out a scope and sequence. So making sure that all students K-5 are receiving high quality physical education. It's super fun. I hope your kids have said they enjoy it. And any feedback or questions is always good too, because like I was a classroom teacher at Guiley for the last 5 years. And so that's definitely a part I miss, is like talking to parents and understanding what's going on with the students. I feel like I kind of missed that piece of it, but yeah. So any questions or concerns about PE, I'd love to know. We're doing the duck dash right now. Students are tracking activities. And they are turning them into their teachers. And they are tracking them around sorry, I'm just trying to think how to share here, how to share the screen. Tracking them, and we're having a school-wide competition, who can do the most minutes. And then April 30th, Saturday, is the duck dash at Hayward Field at the University of Oregon. So if that's something you would like to sign your kiddo up for, there's a free option for that. And again, any questions about that, I'd love to help your kiddos get registered for the duck dash.
Sorry, Marie, I was sharing, so I'm not sharing, so you can share now.
No, that's okay. Did anybody have any questions or things they wanted to bring up about PE, or fun things their students have shared about PE?
Jackie.
Sorry. I know Emma Dawn is super excited about the she came home very jazzed about the duck dash, but how do we sign up for that for free? Because I know it was $20. I was going to sign up for her and her sister, and I'm like, well, it's 40, and then we got adults, but I don't know how to sign them up, and so we can get involved in that. But she's really motivated for it.
Sure, yeah, I'm going to drop the link in the chat, and teachers also sent it out on Seesaw. And so what's really cool about the duck dash is they offer a free option. So you can register for $20 or you can register for free. It's one of those like choose your own adventure, what's right for your family's financial situation. And so let me drop that in the chat.
And actually, I just signed my girls up. I believe, Ms. Kemp, they have like a halfway as well. Like I think you can do $10 as well. So if you wanted to pay a little bit, but not the full 20, I think that was an option as well, Jackie.
So if you click that link in the chat, it'll take you to the Duck Dash website, and then you click register now. And then you scroll down to the duck, because it's like you do marathon, 5K, duck dash. You have to figure out which one is right for your kiddo.
Kristen, did you have a question?
I just put it in the chat. I just wanted to say thank you. My daughter came home really excited about duck dash too. I think she's loving PE.
Marie, would you like to tell them about your Hungry Hippo?
Oh, that was a fun game. Mr. Lovendall teaches second grade. He's in my second grade classroom that I no longer have anymore. And he used to be a PE teacher. And he told me this cool game where the kids are, I accredit it to him. scooters. Kids are on their bellies with lacrosse sticks and those balls that are the colorful balls, like when you go to the ball pit. And so they're trying to grab the balls with the lacrosse sticks, and a teammate is grabbing their legs and they're like driving them. It was a real hit. It was fun. I also have PBIS information, Bambi. I'm not sure if I should do that a little later or if there's time. So I can share that later.
Do we want to give Wayne and Amber a little try?
Wayne, do you want me to go or do you want to go? Okay. So I'm Miss Amber in the library, and last time I was on here to talk about the book fair, and the book fair went amazing. I was really nervous before since we couldn't have parents in the building, but we actually had our highest selling book fair. And I think the total was about $5,200. And I think I wrote it down. We got sold about 650 books. So that was really awesome to see. I'm really excited about that. So that money will go to buying new books for the library. And I also have been buying books when I get that money for kindergartners to teach them to bring their library books back, to bring their bags back. And then that way I can gift them a new book for being responsible. The other thing that we're doing in library is tomorrow we have the Sluggo Eugene Emerald's bookmarks. Those are going to be due, and anybody that turns those in will be able to pick baseball tickets, which is very exciting. I know my family and my boys, we always do it. We love it. And then this month we are learning about poetry. So your kiddos will be poets. I have a couple different activities that we're going to be working on this month. They're not the most excited about poems, but hopefully they'll like the activities that I've planned. So does anybody have any questions from the library perspective, or comments, questions?
My girls love library, but my girls love specials in general. So you guys are all doing an amazing job.
All right, thank you guys. Wayne, it's all you.
Hi, I'm Wayne, Mr. Strong, the music teacher. I actually have the most fun job at the school because we get to sing and dance, play instruments. We do all kinds of things with stories and folklore. And we also are learning about different concepts in music. So when we're in kindergarten, we learn about, of course, slow and fast and high and low and soft and loud and a whole bunch of other contrasting words and activities for them to learn. But as we get older, clear up into 4th and 5th grade, this year we're learning to play the ukulele. And so with COVID still having a little bit or maybe a lot bit of attachment to our school, we're not able to play recorders. So that's sort of sad to me. And we're also not allowed to have programs, which really bums me. But hopefully you've been getting some seesaw things of what's been going on in music, because we've been videoing them and sending some of the things out. One of the things the kids are working on in each class is we're putting together a little musical based on a folk tale. We have simple costumes. We're making simple sets for some of the plays. And then we're going to perform them in a video and send them out on Seesaw so you can see their finished product. So look forward to that. It won't be in the next couple of weeks. It'll be farther on down in the year as we get them ready. But thank you for letting me have your kids. And thanks for being safe drivers out in the pool lane when we're dropping kids on and off and not running over me. So thank you guys. Do you have any questions or thoughts? Well, thank you for letting me teach your kids.
Elizabeth said Benjamin is excited about the play. I've been hearing a lot about that as well. Awesome. Thanks for that safety patrol plug as well, Mr. Strong. Any questions for any of our music, library, or PE teachers? Okay. Ms. Van Dyke, is PE is a permanent thing now, right? That wasn't just like with COVID money or anything. We'll be having the same specials next year.
Yep, Marie gets to do it for another year. She's pumped about it too. So
Yay, that's awesome. Okay, let me go back to sharing my screen here. Okay. Okay, we have Kristen here from the Springfield Public Library. And she wanted to share a little bit about a Dia del Niño activity celebration they're doing. And actually, I forgot to do the quick reminder. We have Berenice here who is translating for us. So just a reminder that we want to do, a reminder for myself, we want to do pauses and speak a little bit slow. So Kristen, take it away. And I gave you co-host, right? You can share.
It says I can't share. I don't, maybe because you're sharing.
Oh, because I'm sharing. Let me stop that. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh no, it says screen sharing has been disabled.
Let me double check. I don't think I made you co-host. Try that again.
Okay. Ah, yes. Thank you. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. Okay. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. Can y'all see that? Awesome. Thank you. So hi. My name is Kristen Curie and I'm a Guiley parent. But before I was a Guiley parent, I was also the Springfield Public Library Spanish Services and Latino Liaison Librarian. So Guiley has been my school for a long time. Hablo español, mi nombre es Cristina. No sé si es mejor si yo hablo en español o si dejamos con la traducción. What is better?
Berenice is translating, so
Okay.
there's no need. Yeah, there's no need to do both because they can't
Fantastic.
hear you anyway.
They can't. Okay.
It's kind of muted, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. So I just want everyone to know that I do speak Spanish too, and I'm always very happy to help in Spanish in the library. And so today I just am here to share with you that we're having our Children's Day Book Day, El Día de los Niños, El Día de los Libros celebration. And that is the same day as Duck Dash, Saturday, April 30th. We've done it, it's always the last Saturday in April. And this year we're doing it a little differently than we did it before COVID. It will be in the morning from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. outside in the plaza in front of the library plaza, City Hall Plaza. And we're really excited to be able to offer two performers, West African Cultural Arts and Springfield High School's Mariachi del Sol will be performing that day. And it is a day to celebrate literacy, language, culture, reading, and sharing stories. And so because of that, we're giving a free book to every kid who comes, whether they're a baby all the way up through high school students, and we'll have something. And we'll have books in English and in Spanish. And then we'll also have some activities that folks can do when they come to the celebration. And right now, if you come to the Springfield Public Library, each family can ask for a Children's Day or Dia kit. And we have one per family, and it's a take-home kit where you can make a scrapbook. And there's some information from the Springfield History Museum as well, because the library and the History Museum are part of the same department at the City Hall, and both are free and open to the public for everyone. So that's the celebration. I also hope that everyone knows that they do get a free library card when they're Springfield Public School District family. And we have a lot of great resources to help with education. We have online tutors that you can access every day for help with homework. We also have Wi-Fi hotspots that you can check out if you don't have good internet connection at home. And then of course we have all the fun things. We have wonderful books and movies and music and even video games and cultural passes to local museums. So we hope you come, and you can stop by on Children's Day or you can come earlier, and feel free to ask for me, but all my coworkers would be happy to help you.
Thank you, Kristen. Anyone have any questions about Dia de los Niños or library in general?
I have a question, Sarah
Yeah.
or Michelle. Is the library fully open? Because I know for a while it was, you could only come and pick up books, and then it was you had to make an appointment, I think. Is it just you can walk in now?
Yes,
open?
since last summer, you've been able to walk
Oh,
in.
nice.
And yeah, I mean, during the past 2 years, there's been different levels of access. If you do go to the website, which I have right here, it's wheremindsgrow.org. You can see our hours, and let's see if I can, trying to pause it, but yeah, so we're actually open in the evening most days during the week. So Mondays, Tuesdays and Thursdays we're open till 7 p.m. and Wednesdays we're open till 6 p.m. Fridays it's 5 p.m. and then we're half staffed on Saturdays. So Saturdays it's 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been using the Libby app, but obviously I haven't really visited.
Well, I'm really glad you asked. It's one of those things that's things have been changing for 2 years, so it's hard to get the message out, right?
Yep.
So you guys have recently updated your hours, because we used to want to go on Fridays, but you guys were closing at 3. So that must be recent.
Yes. So we've had the 7 p.m. days for quite a while now. And then we extended Wednesdays until 6 p.m. and Fridays until 5 p.m. A couple weeks ago.
Awesome. Great question. Emily, any other questions for Kristen? Okay, well, I personally, she's been really great helping us find books. So I know what a great resource she is at the library. Thank you for wearing 2 hats, librarian and parent.
We get to test out a lot of books at home. So thank you.
Thanks, Kristen. Okay, we are on to dual. Actually, I won't share my screen. Well, actually, I don't know. Dual immersion updates. Crystal, do you have something to share?
I do, yes.
Okay, let me make you co-host as well. Okay. So Ms. Sundstrom's here to give us an update on dual immersion.
All right, good evening, everybody. So mainly what I'm going to talk about is our stamp testing that we just finished up with not too long ago, and just go over some general scores and what that means. So the stamp test is a Spanish proficiency test. So our dual immersion students take the test. Our first year administering it was 2019, 2020, right before COVID hit. We did not test during COVID last year, but we picked back up this year. And we use the test for 2 primary purposes, one being program evaluation. So we can look generally at how our program is doing and kind of zoom in and see what are areas where we can improve. And then secondly, for tracking student progress. And as students enter the program, we use this to collect baseline data and then track their progress over time throughout the program. So it's general proficiency, so you don't see a lot of movement in short-term timeframes, but over time, you see the progress that students make. And then how it's set up, it's the scores are based on the ACTFL proficiency levels. So ACTFL is American Council for Teachers of Foreign Languages, and it's the United States National Organization for World Language Education. And so their proficiency levels range from novice, level 1, up to distinguished, which we don't get there in our program yet. But as students advance through middle school and high school, they will reach those upper advanced levels. So what we see in elementary is scores ranging in the novice to intermediate levels. And so those are novice, low, mid, high, or 1, 2, 3, and then intermediate, low, mid, high, or 4, 5, 6. And what we see at those levels, novice is mostly words and memorized phrases about familiar topics. And then intermediate, we reach into more sentences and simple to complex sentences as they advance on a broader range of topics. And just sharing some data. So these were our composite scores for all skills. So the test is administered in listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And so this is the average of all scores put together. So we can see kinder and first, we're kind of right in that 1.5 range combined. And then second and third, we're reaching into 2.5, and then we see a big jump here in the 4th and 5th grades up to 3.5 to 4. And that progress kind of tracks with what we would expect. You can kind of generally see about an advancement of 1 proficiency level per year, more or less, but that I don't want people to stick to that because it's kind of a general reference. And then digging in, and of course, all of this is impacted by COVID and the fact that we were in distance learning last year. Distance learning was a lot more teacher-directed instruction without as much opportunities for students to interact with each other. So there was definitely, I think, some loss of learning opportunities from that. And I have not compared data from our first year to this year, and that's something I would like to do at some point. But this is a snapshot of this year's progress. And then looking at the individual skills, listening. So kinder and first grade only take speaking and listening because we are not assuming literacy yet for reading and writing. They're still learning how to read and write in any language. And so listening, we can see same kind of for that 1.5 to 2 for kinder and first, and then jumping up to 3.5 for second and third. And then let's see, 4th and 5th graders are up to 4.5. So that's great progress. And then one thing that I have seen is that our productive skills, our students are scoring lower on productive skills than on receptive skills. So listening and reading, they're doing better on than speaking and writing. But speaking, we see here, as you look at the data, you might be tempted to really compare grade levels, but each class has a different population of students. So some of our classes have a much higher percentage of native Spanish speakers. And so those students are going to kind of score higher. So kind of here with that kinder and first grade, that is happening where, oops, I jumped ahead, where the kinder class has more native Spanish speakers than the first grade class. And reading. Again, reading and writing don't start until second grade, but we see second and third grade here, level 2, which is great, and then jumping up to level 4 for the 4th and 5th grade. And writing, and again, writing, you'll see kind of a big jump in the upper grades because they've simply had a lot more time to practice writing across the board. But we are seeing general progress throughout the grades, so that's good news. And so just some general conclusions that sample size, these are very small groups of students, so we can't make too many generalizations. And again, the class composition matters for composite scores. Testing conditions matter. So for example, the speaking test, students are given a prompt and then they have a headset with microphone that they have to speak into and record themselves. That made students weren't used to doing that. So it's something as a testing skill we can practice in order to give them a better opportunity for that. And again, receptive skills like reading and listening are scoring higher than productive. But in general, students are making progress. So any quick questions about that? Greg, I see Greg raise the hand.
Is there an order that's best practice between the receptive and productive, like which goes first in the test, in the actual implementation of testing?
When we're testing, we usually try to do the receptive first and then the productive. And it would be, we wouldn't necessarily do listening and then writing. We would do listening and then speaking. So for the literacy based ones, we would try to keep those together, reading and writing. But it's all of the classes before we started testing, I went into each class and kind of gave a presentation about the test and what it looked like. And all students had a chance to take a practice test first so they could practice each of the skills. So they did have practice in all of the different skills before they actually sat down to take the real test. Jackie.
Sorry. So the sample size you said was small. Like, how were the kids chosen? Was it just totally random, or was there some sort of method to how you selected students?
Oh no, all students in the dual program took that. Took the test. I'm just saying in general, if we're looking at test scores, if it's just a small group of students taking it, and so, one class may only have 20 students or something, we can't make any big grand statistical conclusions based on that because it's just a small group of students in general. So all students did take it. That's was just my wording to say that we can't really, based on the numbers, we can't make any grand statistical conclusions.
And we have no way to compare this to like pre-COVID data, like, a normal trajectory would be, but we had this giant interruption and we see a disruption in learning due to that.
So I have not had time to kind of go back in time and look at the first year's data, and I wasn't even part of the program at that point. But it's something I'd like to do. But again, it would be kind of limited because if we are comparing, I'd have to track it in a way that we're comparing sort of the same groups of students. So if students left the program, I would need to account for that in the data. But it's something I hope to, as soon as I have enough time, to kind of dig in and do a little bit deeper data analysis around that. One thing we will not do is compare our scores to other programs or other schools. That data just doesn't exist in a way we could access, and it's not really what the test is intended for either. So, but we can compare kind of longitudinally, and that's what I hope to start doing is build some system to where we can track progress over time for individual students so that we can share that with parents as the years go by.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other question, or Ms. Sundstrom, do you have more stuff to add or to share?
Not really, although I'm seeing a question in the chat box that comparing to other years and other programs and statewide data. And again, we don't have access to anybody else's data. So unless we were to, reach out to other programs in some sort of organized fashion to do some data work, there's no way for us to do that.
Okay. More questions from Ms. Sundstrom?
Are there other ways that we can measure whether it's working and we're progressing, if we've invested time into this program? Are there other things that you're using to measure?
As far as I mean, nothing's coming to mind to compare it to other programs at this point. What I would want to see is just general progress of students over time. So are they progressing from grade to grade? Is there growth? And then once we are able to collect more data, we can compare student progress over time. So if anybody has ideas on how to do that, I'm all ears. I don't know how programs would be compared to other programs in terms of test scores, though.
But don't other schools take the stamp test as well? I mean, so they might have different programs, but aren't we all taking the same test, our kiddos?
It's the same test for, if an elementary school student is taking the test, it's the same test. It would mean reaching out to other programs and coming up with some sort of agreement to collaborate and share data. And that's that, I mean, at the time, I don't see it happening anytime soon, and I don't know if it's been done overall.
Maybe there could be some support, like as we're talking about into middle school and high school, maybe there can be more district support along the way.
Yeah, I'd have to look into that, because the data I've seen has come from research studies where, I used to work at Center for Applied Second Language Studies at the U of O, which is the research center that developed this test. And they conducted a study where they had the schools that participated in the pilot of the test submitted their data. And so the research center did their own study and looked at scores and how they tracked. But that wasn't schools themselves collecting the data and analyzing it. It was the university who, the group that developed the test as part of their research.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Ms. Sundstrom. Any other last minute questions? Okay. Awesome.
All right. Well,
Thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Sure.
Miss Van Dyke, principal spot. She's going to talk for a few minutes, but if you have anything, we do always a little extra chat with the principals at the end. Miss Van Dyke, do you have anything you want to share?
Yes, I do. Thank you. I just want to publicly say thank you for the Italian sodas for the staff. That's so wonderful to have a nice treat on a hot day. It's not so hot today, so I think we timed that just right to have a nice treat. I want to let you guys know that we are gonna, at the end of this, we're hoping to do a survey also. So we have some feedback we'd like to get from the PTO and all the parents. Also, just quick survey, short. And Marie's going to be talking a little bit more about that. A few things that we're doing here at the school, just quickly, is like the garden project. We've started that. Fifth grade's doing cooking in their rooms. So that's been super fun. OBOB was concluded on Saturday. That was a blast to have one of our groups do quite well. If Josh would like to say anything about that.
Nope, just super proud of those third graders. Represented Guiley well. They performed really well in the competitions. They missed moving on to the lead 8 by 3 questions. And there were at least that many that I watched them like, was it a circle or a, and then they picked the wrong one and they just barely missed it. So proud of them and the work that they did and their commitment to the process. And also thanks for the parents that are here who supported that, because it's a lot of work on your end as well.
Yep. Great job, Josh, or Mr. Donaldson. And then state testing's coming up. We are going to start that real soon. It will conclude around June 3rd. So we'll have SBAC, we'll have iReady, and we'll have Easy CBM. So a lot to come. All right.
Thank you, Ms. Van Dyke.
You're welcome.
We're going to go ahead and move along. But if you guys have questions, stick around. We usually talk for about 20-25 minutes. So if you have any questions for Mr. Donaldson or Ms. Van Dyke right after the meeting, it's not recorded, just a really informal chat. Great time to do that. Okay, we have the penny drive coming up. Next week, we're going to hold it for 2 weeks. And we are trying something new this year, different than previous years and different than the fall, because everyone is learning to save their change until the very last minute. And we bring the change over and get it counted in the change machine at Selco. And we can only deposit a certain amount of money at a time each day. So we're going to try something new. We're going to award double points for all money brought in the first week. So next week. And so that would be positive and negative, right? So all pennies are positive points all the time. And all silver and dollars are negative points. So you want to put pennies in your own grade. Excuse me, if you don't know this, every grade, including teachers and staff, have a bucket. So you put the pennies in your own bucket. Change and dollars go into other grades or staff buckets, and double points for everything brought in next week. So if you brought in 100 pennies for your grade, that would be 200 points, right? Typically that would be 1 penny is equal to 1 point. We're going to do double points. And same thing, if I brought in a quarter and I put it in someone else's bucket, that would be negative 50 points. So we're really trying to encourage some money the first week and not just everything the second week. We put on the directions a class party. I think we have decided we are going to, Ms. Van Dyke alluded to the fact that I was going to share a picture in a little while, but we served Italian sodas to the staff last Thursday on the 80-degree day. And we were setting up at the end of recess, and the kids were, what is that? Are you selling these? How can I get one of these? They were so excited. They wanted to just even drink like the club soda bottles. Like they were just like, what can I get? So we thought, hey, this could be a really great incentive and prize for the winning grade. So I think we're going to do Italian sodas for whichever grade wins the penny drive. Of course, if staff wins, which I very doubt will happen, we say everyone gets extra homework. So it's just kind of a joke, but usually staff is like last. Was there a question in the chat? No. Okay. Questions about the penny drive? We're hoping to maybe raise a couple $100. In a second, you'll see our total. We have just over, I guess I can show that real quick. Maybe we'll do that super quick. We have just over $600 in our PTO account. We don't want to drop below 500. And we are also hoping to bring back the jogathon next year. And we're going to need a little bit of money to get that going. So we're hoping to bring at least a couple $100 in from this penny drive. And then we can start kind of doing our, back to trying to support students with, if we can raise some money with the jogathon, we can support field trips and class activities and things that we've done in the past or we're moving to in the past. And then I'll just take this moment before Elizabeth takes over. We did Italian sodas, and then our next staff appreciation will be another Olive Garden lunch. It's been pretty affordable. We have spent very little PTO money. There's been a lot of donations from community members and some parents. So for example, the Italian sodas, 2 parent donations, and we got $25 donated from US Chef Foods. So that covered most of that. And it seemed to be a big hit. Let's see here. Any questions about the penny drive or staff appreciation? Okay. And I know several of you guys are supporting that penny drive, so thank you. We will be counting every couple days and probably almost every day next week, or excuse me, the second week of the penny drive, just to keep totals updated. Okay, Elizabeth.
Okay, I'm gonna share
Oh,
my screen because we need to do the, we need to actually make some changes to our bylaws. And those have to be voted on. And we're gonna, so I'm gonna put them up and we need folks to vote on them in this meeting. And Sarah, I don't know if you can unco-host people while I'm talking so that they can vote, because if we use the poll, anybody who's a co-host can't vote. So our current bylaws, we had a vice treasurer position, and we had to do that because when we started forming the Lee PTO a couple of years ago, too many of us were Springfield district employees. So that was a conflict. So we had to create an additional treasurer position, which we really don't need. So one of the things we need to vote on is removing that position. And something that we'd like to add is adding what's called an ex officio president position, so that when the president, which right now that's Sarah, when she completes her term, which she will at the end of this, the terms are 2 years. So she'd complete a term as president at the end of this school year. Then they would go on and move right into this ex officio president position for 1 year to provide sort of guidance, share expertise, assist the newly elected president with their efforts, as the incoming president. So it's really not a straight cold handoff. So in our this is actually the wording in our bylaws, and it's in Article 4, officers and elections, where we'd make the changes here in the first description, getting rid of vice treasurer, adding ex officio president. And then we would go ahead and eliminate the description of the duties of the vice treasurer and add the ex officio president and a description of their work. So I think we could go ahead and start the poll, unless, well, if anybody has any questions, please ask questions. Or I think if anybody, if there aren't any questions, I think we could go ahead and go to the poll and vote. But anyone who's a co-host can't vote in the poll. I think that's how that works in Zoom.
Okay, I just launched it, so it should be.
I have a question. Do we need somebody to make a motion that we vote on this? Like, how official do we do these things? Like, do we need a
No,
motion?
we don't use in our bylaws. We don't have Robert's rules.
All right.
We do voting by consensus mostly. So we did not, as a group, adopt Robert's rules. Doesn't mean we can't change it, but that's not how we put it in to begin with.
I love it. So official, Heidi. So just
yeah, for people on other boards used to Robert's rules, we don't have Robert's rules.
Should I just keep it open, Elizabeth?
Sure.
Okay.
We can And I think we have more than a quorum here. So we only, I think 7 is what we need for a quorum.
And wait, do teachers and admin, who votes?
Well, members of the board, and because we don't charge dues, it's, and teachers can be part of our PTO board. So if you've participated with us, you can vote within, participated in 4 meetings.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, I think we have,
So I don't
yeah, we have 9 people that have voted,
Okay.
and everyone said yes, so.
So I think we can say, yes, we've
Great.
passed those changes.
Oh, 10, we're good.
Okay.
I'll leave it open just in case.
Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and move to the second piece. So our annual meeting is our May meeting. And we do elections, and we'll hold elections at our May meeting for our next officers for our PTO board. Our hope when we started was to actually have some committees and standing committees and a board development standing committee. And so right now this board development standing committee is Sarah and I, as the parents' most longest involvement in our Lee PTO. So we're at this meeting, April meeting, we need to present a slate of nominees for electing into our officer positions for next year. The positions are 2-year positions. And so here is our slate. Also, during this meeting, we can take nominations. We can take nominations until a week before our annual meeting on the 10th. So we can take those by email to Sarah or myself. And the new officers will take office July 1st of 2022. So we have president that we're putting forward as Heidi Johnson, vice president and Emily Timashevsky. Did I say that correctly, Emily? Is that close? Secretary Krista Martin, treasurer Jackie Helm. We currently I am acting as our treasurer, sort of, and by the annual meeting, I will put together a financial statement as well, which we need to have for our May annual meeting. Any questions?
I can't see, because I'm trying to take the notes and type at the same time. I can't see when can nominations be accepted until?
May 3rd.
Greg had a question. Are these self-nominations? Great question, Greg. There were some phone calls. There were some just based on kind of, people that have helped in the past and who we thought would be really awesome. So there were some conversations, but all of these people showed some interest, if that answers your question, Greg. Emily?
Yeah, and I don't remember hearing, but you might want to go over what requirements to be nominated. I didn't see that maybe it was in the text, but like, I think don't you need to be at 4 meetings total for the year in order to be nominated?
Yes.
If someone's interested.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, let me go back to our bylaws. So to be eligible to serve at the officer's position, I can go ahead and oh, I had it. I should have pasted it. No, I can't put my hands right on it.
Well, I was just thinking if someone was interested, just knowing what the requirements or the
Yeah.
kind of a baseline, and then who would they contact if they were, I don't know if, I doubt anyone is going to be, but if they will, that would be awesome.
Vote. So you have to attend at least 4 meetings in the current school year. So if you've attended 4 PTO meetings in this current school year to be eligible to be
Including this
an
one,
officer.
including
Including
this
this one.
Does May
Inclu-
count?
May does not count.
Okay. So Marcia would like to nominate Kathy Ramos for any position she may be interested in.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm writing this on a paper.
awesome. Thank you. And Elizabeth has worked super hard to try to get our finances in order. So thank you for all your time on that, Elizabeth.
Yeah, and I'm still waiting on feedback from the IRS on our status. I'm gonna try call them this week for our nonprofit status.
Okay, sorry.
Oops,
Okay,
I
are we good, Elizabeth, on that?
think so.
Okay, I think the last thing we have, I'm just gonna double check here. Yep, is our raffle. So we have another $50 cornucopia gift card that I believe Jackie was going to raffle off. Let's see here. Everyone here is eligible, so Jackie.
Okay, yeah, just so you know, so I basically just, as people roll into the meeting, I write their name down and assign them a number. And then I'm using a very fancy random number generator app. So we got 19, or we had 19 people. So I'm doing everybody who was here, right? Even though some people had to leave. So the
We
magic
usually say you
number-
have to be present to win. I don't know if that means right now.
Okay.
Or I guess see who you pick. See if they're here.
6 is Misty Hernandez, 83.
I think she might have left right
She might not be
after.
here. Yeah, we've got 17 people. Do you want me? I don't know what to do. Want me to do it again? Should I just say?
Yeah, we say you have to be present to win. So
Okay. Have to generate. Next number is number 5. It was Kristen Cure.
ooh, Kristen. Whoop, whoop. I will connect with you, Kristen, or I'll leave it in the office. I'll put your name on it. Awesome. Yay. Okay. Our next and last meeting for this school year will be Tuesday, May 10th. It's always the second Tuesday of the month. Please invite someone that's never been to a meeting before. We're working on an agenda now, so I don't really know what that will be, but it'll be voting for sure for PTO board members. And I don't know, we'll have to talk, Bambi. We've invited every grade level and specials, so I don't know if there'll be teachers at that meeting or not. We'll have to kind of see how that goes. Any questions, official PTO related, before we stop recording and chat with the principals? We are a little bit over. Thank you guys for sticking around. Greg or Marcia or Towns.
All of the above. I thought this question might be helpful to others who are attending too. I was wondering for 5th graders or in general in Springfield School District, the outdoor school, like I know there was the measure 98 that gives funding for outdoor school, but I don't know what that is in Springfield School District for 5th, is it 5th or 6th grade?
Josh, do you know anything about outdoor school?
Yeah, typically that's been handled at the middle school level traditionally, and I don't know what's been happening since COVID, to be honest with you. I feel like I heard that it was happening, but it's not an overnight camp for the middle schoolers this year. It's just a day thing.
Thanks.
Any other questions? All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Please don't go anywhere if you have any questions. Great time to get some info, especially about that duck dash, if anyone else needed help with that. We will see you on Tuesday, May 10th. Thank you for being here. Penny drive next week. Bring those pennies in.